A Voorheesville native was honored by Albany County today for his service to the local community and beyond. Jesse Sommer was named Albany County's Citizen of the Month. Sommer's a paratrooper in the Army's historic 82nd Airborne. He's also a judge advocate at Fort Bragg, where he's stationed.
If life were fair, every single person would have those same opportunities, that support, that encouragement, but life isn't fair. So all I can do is try to pay it forward, to deliver Albany to the people that I meet in my journeys, wherever I may be stationed.
Summers graduated from Voorheesville High School back in 2001. He's worked on volunteer projects that range from teaching basic literary skills to cleaning up trash at a local lake.
A local veteran is honored as Albany County's Citizen of the Month Friday morning for serving our country and being an active member in the community. Captain Jesse Sommer serves in the Army's 82nd Airborne Division and is a judge advocate currently stationed at Fort Bragg. Sommer graduated from Voorheesville High School in 2001 and has always had a special place in his heart for Albany. He has volunteered across our region and in surrounding states, including everything from teaching basic literacy skills to cleaning up a lake.
It makes me realize that this is my only home, this is where I want to come back to, and ultimately when I come back I'm going to be applying myself to the very same community that has given me this inspiration to serve.
Sommer says volunteering defines communities, and he's excited to continue that both in Albany and where he's serving.
How's everyone doing today? Pretty good. Scarf, you doing all right? It's Dr. Giordano here. You can go lay on his couch and talk to him. Listen, this is a great honor that we, when we recognize a Citizen of the Month and we pick somebody, and we this is a little bit out of the ordinary because he's not living in Albany County right now. And he's at Fort Bragg, but the thing is that he is from Albany. He's from Voorheesville, graduated from Voorheesville High School in '01. And he went and served our country, and he's still serving our country. But you look at where he came from, the town of Voorheesville in New Scotland, in that area, and you look at the backbone that he got from there. And I say that from his parents, just meeting his mom and dad, and his family and friends. But really, community really molds you into what you're going to be later in life and how you're going to conduct yourself. And he has shown himself, Jesse, that not only has he been a great ambassador for Albany County as he's gone off to different duty stations and where he's at, getting involved with the community, helping clean up a lake locally, which we could have used you here, where he lives, and really giving back to the community on top of a demanding job. Because being on active duty, I gotta tell you, there's no 5 days a week. There's no that you go home at 4 o'clock. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours. And a typical work day is probably 12 to 15 hours if you're lucky. And on the weekends, you're always doing something because as a soldier, you're either mentoring somebody or there's something going on with high tempo inside your unit. And being airborne, which I don't like heights, but I was a fireman for 20 years and I still don't like heights. And I don't like jumping out of planes, but I give you credit for that. But to being a JAG officer, that really, being in the military myself still currently, and seeing Sergeant Major Good, who's retired, we don't like seeing the JAG officers, because usually it means you're in trouble. Not unless you got a soldier that you have to really straighten out, and then you have to go visit the JAG officer, but they really do a crucial service within our service, because it is important, regardless, even if you're downrange, and things are going on, believe me, soldiers get in trouble or things happen. You have to have a JAG officer, and they really do make or break your unit. And it just shows his character that Jesse has just not shown here, growing up here in Voorheesville and going on to the military, but what he has done since he's gone here really highlights the citizens of Albany County. And that's the point that I want to make here, that you know what? We had some people say, he's not from here, what are you doing? And we're like, no, he's been an ambassador for Albany County. And he leads by example. And that says a lot, because people say, oh, where are you from? New York. And he goes, well, probably says Albany, then Voorheesville, and they try to figure out where we're at in the map. But then again, it really reflects his community because of the way he carries himself, not just as an officer in the military, but as a person that had a great upbringing from his mom and dad. It's a real reflection of your character in your son, so you two should be proud, and we should give you two a round of applause for what you have done. But we also have Bill Reinhardt, the Albany County Legislator, that represents this district, and Doug LaGrange, the supervisor from the town of Scotland. But Bill would like to come up and say a few words before we continue on. Bill.
Thank you. Dan did steal a little of my thunder. I was going to compliment the parents. I was going to compliment the community in general for being so supportive of volunteer efforts. And obviously I'm going to compliment Jessie, who by the way is named after my oldest daughter, who is also a Jessie. And I picked that name on purpose because it could apply to either. We knew the name before we knew the gender. But I do want to take this chance to just say something about why, when I saw this notice, I felt like I really had to come. Not only because I do represent Voorheesville in the legislature, but also because I think it's great that we are honoring a volunteer, and we are recognizing, not only Jessie, we are recognizing all the volunteers of our communities who do all the wonderful things that they do at no cost to the taxpayer, at a cost to their families, at a cost to themselves, but they care about their community, and that's what I think is so great about this. I myself am a volunteer, my wife's a volunteer, my disabled daughter is a volunteer at the Altamont Elementary School. It's what makes our community stick together. That's why I wanted to come today and express my appreciation to Jesse for all of his great effort, and also to everyone else out there in the community who volunteers. We're not the same community without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And supervisor from the town of New Scotland is going to come up and say a few words. Doug?
Which she wasn't expecting. But I do have a different perspective, I guess, and Dan touched on it a little bit. I've become good friends with Jesse's parents over the years, and some of the close friends that are here today, people that have influenced him, for good or bad, I guess, despite clubhouse meetings. Jesse has had a base from two directions with his parents, not opposing directions, but differing approaches to things in life. And I think that's molded him and his siblings too. I think they share that. I'm very proud to have been asked by Jesse just the other day to attend this. He thought it was him doing me some kind of honor, but no, I mean, vice versa, that I'd be honoring him, but it's just the opposite. You know, he's honoring me as a newly elected town supervisor from the great town of New Scotland, which, as Dan said, is a heck of a place to grow up, and instills these values that Jesse's showing that led to this award and will lead to a successful life, both in the military and whatever he chooses from here. So it's my honor to be here, and I thank him for inviting me. And this is a well-deserved award, so thank you.
Now the man we were all waiting for, Brian, Jesse, and Brian, please come on up and say a few words.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to say that both of you stole my thunder, because I am obviously going to give a shout out to Dr. Cheever and Dean Sommer for raising such a great child. But I would also like to begin by thanking Ms. Rozak, Mr. McCoy, and the County Executive's Office by doing me the honor of selecting Jesse Sommer as Citizen of the Month, when I'm sure there was plenty of other candidates that equally deserve this distinction. I won't stay up here too long and try and give Jesse's complete life story or explain in too much detail what he's done for the community. I'll let him flesh that out if he so chooses. Instead, I'd like to explain why I nominated Jesse for this award. Jesse was raised right here in Albany County, down the road in Voorheesville, like I just said, by some great parents who I see in the audience today. He excelled in academics and sports in high school, and then attended Wesleyan University. He went on then to both law and business school at American University, and eventually joined the Army as a lawyer in the Judge Advocate General Corps. Now, when I had noticed Albany County had created a program to recognize members of the community, I decided to throw my hat in the ring and nominate someone. I myself studied political science and government in college, so I firmly believe in the inherent concepts of good government and what it means at heart to be a contributing member of society. So when given the opportunity to highlight someone I felt uniquely deserved the recognition, I felt no hesitation in nominating one of my best friends. Now, Jesse and I have been friends for about nearly 20 years now, and throughout the entire time, he has always dedicated himself to community service. In the most genuine way, Jesse cares about people. So it comes as no surprise to me that he helped illiterate adults learn how to read in New York City, taught constitutional law to underprivileged students in high school in Washington, D.C., or cleaned up a local lake where he's stationed in North Carolina. You know, there's plenty of other admirable examples, like the aforementioned, but they don't have much to do with Albany County specifically. No, I nominated Captain Jesse Sommer to receive this award for his service to Albany as an ambassador and representative of all the values that bind this community together. Jesse loves Albany, maybe even a little bit too much. I mean, you can ask any one of his peers from back in the day, and they'll tell you that his constant refrain was and remains, make Albany proud. Well, Jesse, you've done it. You've made Albany proud. So now it's time to come up with a different catchphrase. Okay? You know, his service to Albany is exemplified in his service to his country. For as one of the Army's first ever Special Victims Council, Captain Sommer has dedicated himself to dealing with one of the most sensitive issues the military has had to face in decades, and that is the scourge of sexual assault. Jesse has provided legal representation to victims of rape and sexual assault, guiding them through the rigors of sex abuse prosecutions, when reliving such a horrible experience can be just as traumatizing as the crime itself. Jesse has helped them navigate that process, recapturing their dignity and self-esteem, and reestablishing their place in the ranks of our country's bravest defenders. Now, so where it gets a little bit personal for me, I'll be married to my fiancée, Shannon, in September of this year. It's the beautiful lady sitting next to my father there in the great tie. I'll give you one guess as to who will be the one officiating the ceremony. And at that point, I will also officially become a stepdad to her 6-year-old daughter, Halo. Halo was born in Albany County and will be raised here. Now, when she grows up and decides in a career, you know, she can choose a great many things. And if she chooses to be an astronaut, I'll probably be pretty jealous. If she chooses to be a doctor, I'll certainly be proud. But if instead she chooses to be a soldier, I know that because of the actions of Jesse, she'll have a greater chance at a fruitful career in which her advancement in the military is not hindered by the threat of sexual assault or harassment. So for this reason, Jesse, you have my thanks, and I'm sure that you have the thanks of 20,000 veterans and their families who live in Albany County. That's why you were my nominee. And to be fair, buddy, you really need this award. You're 5'8", you're exceedingly pale, and you're still single. So I want to thank again to the county executive for recognizing Jesse.
There's nothing wrong with 5'8". I'm just saying, you know, and he's enjoying life, so he doesn't need to get married right now. Enjoy it while you can. Wow, you lost me in the 5.8 or 8. I can't even get it out. But you know, it really, Brian, what you have said just really shows the friendship that you guys have developed and what you continue to have the passion, but also to bring to our light the fact that why he is so special to Albany County and how he represents us as an ambassador out there. So I do want to say thank you to you for nominating him. And Captain Summers, please come on up before you give your speech. On behalf of Albany County, we have a coin here for you. Thank you for everything, sir. And then we have this little proclamation for you. Maybe he's 5'7". I think I'm a little. And then we get.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes. Here, that's for you. Go ahead. It's all you.
Thank you. So I'm probably not the greatest demonstration of proper military bearing right now with this idiot grin on my face, but I am so incredibly happy to receive this, and thank you so much for being here. This is obviously means a lot to me, and thank you all for being here as well and making this moment so incredibly and unexpectedly special for me. The truth is, when I call him Kafka, when Brian Kafka called to tell me they'd submitted my name for this award, my first reaction was to be like, I do not deserve that. And Kafka was like, yeah, well, you won it, so maybe you should come up with a slightly different theme for your acceptance speech. But that is how I feel. So rather than accept this award for what I've done to date, I will accept it, I guess, as the expectations, in the expectations that this county has for me. I serve in the 82nd Airborne Division, and one of the perks of wearing this uniform is that people constantly approach me, literally every day, and will thank me for my service. And service is a part of my life. That was an ethic that my parents stressed. But it is always still a little weird hearing that. Because I'd be lying if I said that my acts of selflessness were not inspired by something other than an innate sense of altruism. Which is to say, what fuels me is probably more akin, frankly, to a sense of guilt, to a nagging awareness that I can't justify why my life has been so incredibly wonderful. Growing up in Albany was like winning a lottery for which I didn't even have to risk the purchase of a ticket. I did nothing to earn the privilege of a stable family with 3 adoring sisters, where my dad was my Little League coach, my mom was the beloved village vet, where I was taught and tolerated by the most patient, tolerant teachers that humanity has ever produced. We had snow days, we had epic school plays, I had debaucherous nights right down here on Pearl Street, we had summer love at summer camp, rope swings on at least 3 different lakes that I can recall, and I had friends across the county against whom I competed on the wrestling mats. I was raised in a county-sized neighborhood complete with woods and mountains and the absolute coolest little city. If Albany can be criticized for anything, it's that it probably kept me a bit sheltered. It wasn't until I left that I realized that it's not like that for everyone. That was an unsettling realization then. And even now, it instills in me a sense of duty, born of a sense of debt to the benefits this county routinely showers upon me. So in reference to the examples that Kafka cited when he submitted me for this award, I responded to my emerging sense of an existential imperative by regrouping, taking what I could of my little public school's music and drama program, and volunteering with at-risk youth in Connecticut. In New York City, I did teach basic literacy skills to illiterate adults when I learned that there was such a thing, that some people just don't have a kindergarten class with the letter people strung up around the ceiling. I taught constitutional rights to underprivileged high school students in Washington using the exact same flourishes that I had experienced and observed in a legendary AP class back at Voorheesville. And I did take it upon myself to start cleaning trash around a lake at Fort Bragg, because if I couldn't be a part of my hometown's political mobilization to preserve its character in the face of commercialization, I felt that at least I could try to clean up somewhere else in solidarity. And Kafka spoke eloquently about what I do in my capacity as a military attorney. I'll add only that I'm humbled and honored to assist the Army in powerfully confronting that issue at this time. So I did all of that. I do all of that because that's what Albany did for me. If life were fair, every single person would have those same opportunities, that support, that encouragement, but life isn't fair. So all I can do is try to pay it forward, to deliver Albany to the people that I meet in my journeys, wherever I may be stationed, while you folks, and especially you folks, keep this county the special place I carry in my past memories and future ambitions. Albany informs my service to students, to the environment, to my country. And when I come back for good, I'll work to better Albany by keeping it basically exactly the same. The same place that inspires such powerful nostalgia. And friendship so strong that when I tell Evan the county is giving me an award, he drives up from New York City at 4 a.m. to take pictures. This is a place to get an education, a place to raise a family, a place for artists and entrepreneurs, young professionals, and some of the country's oldest operational family farms. And I will never take for granted or take such pride in a city skyline as I do Albany, what I used to overlook on from my hill in New Scotland. And of course, there's no finer example of investigative journalism than that featured in the Times-Union when covering the creative exploits of our out-of-town state legislators. So, County Executive McCoy, thank you so much for your service to the country, as you do serve the country still, and to Albany. And thank you very much for recognizing mine. I do it on behalf of this county. I do not take lightly the sense that I am a representative of our upstate community wherever I go, and I am grateful to you all for taking such great care of the only place that could ever be my home. Thank you very much.
Now we know why he got nominated. And this ends the program, but we're going to take some pictures with the parents. So if you please come on up and up to the dais. Thank you.